They told you to be nice, to play it safe, to please everyone, to never make waves. But here's the truth. Being too nice has cost you your power, your respect, and your purpose. The world doesn't reward nice. It rewards those who know who they are and refuse to apologize for it. Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that being nice was the key to success. We were told, be polite, be agreeable, don't rock the boat, don't offend anyone. And because of that, too many powerful people have been walking around powerless. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack potential, but because they traded their authenticity for approval. Let's make one thing clear. Being nice is not the same as being kind. Kindness is powerful. Kindness is rooted in strength, courage, and empathy. But being nice often comes from fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of standing out. You smile when you're hurting. You agree when your heart says no. You shrink when life demands that you stand tall. You've been playing small just to keep people comfortable. You've been dimming your light so no one feels threatened by your shine. You've been saying yes when everything in you screams no. And for what? So people will like you? So you won't upset anyone. Let me tell you something. You will never please everyone. You could give the world your best, and someone will still find a reason to complain. The world doesn't respect people who blend in. It respects those who stand out. It doesn't follow the agreeable. It follows the bold. Being too nice isn't humility. It's self-abandonment disguised as decency. And every time you silence yourself to make others comfortable, you teach them how to treat you. You see, when you're too nice, people take advantage of you, not because they're evil, but because you trained them to. You train them that your time is flexible, your boundaries are optional, and your energy is free. But your time is valuable. Your energy is sacred. Your life is not a discount store for people who only show up when they need something. The world doesn't reward nice. It rewards those who take a stand. You can be respectful without being weak. You can be kind without being walked on. You can be loving without losing yourself. Because strength and compassion can coexist, but they can if you keep putting everyone else before yourself. It's time to stop letting fear run your life. Stop letting the fear of being disliked keep you from being real. You don't owe everyone an explanation. You don't owe everyone access. You don't owe everyone a yes. The only thing you owe yourself is the truth, the courage to show up as you. When you start setting boundaries, people will call you mean. When you start speaking your mind, they'll say you've changed. When you stop being the doormat, they'll say you've got an ego. That's fine. Let them talk. Because the moment they notice your boundaries, that's the moment you've finally drawn them. The truth is, nice guys finish last not because they're kind, but because they're afraid. Afraid to demand more. Afraid to lead. Afraid to disappoint people who never cared about them in the first place. But there's something inside you, a fire, a force, a confidence that's been buried under years of people pleasing. It's time to dig it up. It's time to reclaim your backbone. Stop apologizing for your standards. Stop negotiating your worth. Stop waiting for permission to be powerful. You can still be kind, but be bold. You can still be respectful, but be firm. You can still love people, but love yourself first. Because when you respect yourself, the world follows your lead. Don't aim to be the nice guy. Aim to be the real guy. The one who stands for something, who speaks truth even when it's uncomfortable, who values peace over popularity, because when you stop chasing approval, you start attracting respect. So stand tall, my friend. Speak with confidence. Walk with conviction. The world doesn't need another nice man. It needs a strong one. A man who knows his value, owns his truth, and refuses to apologize for his power. Being nice isn't the same as being kind. One comes from strength, the other from fear. There's a difference between living from your power and living from your people-pleasing. Some people confuse kindness with weakness, but that's not true. Kindness is a choice that comes from inner confidence, from knowing who you are and standing on that foundation. Kindness says, I can treat you with respect even if you disrespect me, because your behavior doesn't change my character. But being nice says, I'll let you walk all over me so I don't upset you. See the difference? Being kind means you operate from love, but being nice often means you operate from fear. Fear of rejection, fear of confrontation, fear of being misunderstood, and fear will keep you small. Fear will make you bite your tongue when your soul is screaming to speak. Fear will make you agree when your spirit is begging you to stand up for yourself. That's not kindness. That's self-betrayal disguised as politeness. Too many of us were raised to believe that being nice was the highest form of goodness. Be polite, they said. Don't argue. Keep everyone happy. But that kind of thinking creates people who live half their lives trying to please others and never truly meet themselves. You can't be fully you when you're busy trying to make everyone else comfortable. You can't discover your own power if your only goal is to be liked. Real kindness is not about pleasing. It's about giving from overflow. When you are kind, you don't need to be accepted because you already accept yourself. When you are kind, you don't need to agree with everyone because you respect your own truth. When you are kind, you don't have to prove your worth because you already know it. Being nice, on the other hand, drains you. You give your time, your energy, your peace, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have to. You don't want to disappoint anyone. You don't want to upset anyone. But while you're busy protecting everyone else's feelings, who's protecting yours? It's time to stop confusing kindness with compliance. Kindness serves others, but never at the cost of your self-respect. You can say no and still be kind. You can draw a boundary and still be kind. You can walk away and still be kind. Because kindness doesn't mean you have to tolerate everything. It means you choose to act with integrity, even when it's hard. When you're kind from strength, you don't need validation. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You do what's right, not what's easy. And that's the difference between being nice and being powerful. Stop saying yes to things that make your soul heavy. Stop apologizing for things that weren't your fault. Stop pretending you're fine when you're breaking inside. You deserve to live with dignity, not depletion. You deserve peace, not permission. You are not here to be everyone's safe space. You are here to be your own. The world doesn't need another agreeable face. It needs a strong one, a kind one, a courageous one. So stop being nice. Be real. Be kind from strength. Because when you do, you don't just change how others treat you. You change how you see yourself. The world respects confidence, not compliance. Nobody ever rose to greatness by blending in. Nobody ever changed their life by saying yes to everything. The people who move mountains, who shape destiny, who lead others, they're not the ones who just go along. They're the ones who stand firm in who they are. When you live your life trying to comply with everything and everyone, you lose the fire that makes you you. Compliance is safe, but safe doesn't build empires. Safe doesn't inspire. Safe doesn't fulfill. The moment you start living for approval, you stop living for purpose. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's self-trust. It's that quiet inner voice that says, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to stand alone if I have to. Confidence is not loud, it's consistent. It shows up when nobody's cheering. It keeps pushing when everyone else doubts. It keeps believing when everyone else quits. But compliance is the death of authenticity. You lower your tone so you don't seem too passionate. You hold back your opinions so you don't sound too bold. You hide your dreams because you're afraid they'll think you're unrealistic. And slowly, you start losing the very thing that made you special. The truth is, the world will always test your confidence. It will try to convince you that you need to conform to be accepted, that you need to blend in to be safe. But confidence says, I wasn't made to fit in. I was made to stand out. Confidence is what builds respect. When people see that you know your worth, they start to recognize it too. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself like a leader, the world responds. If you speak with conviction, people listen. If you believe in yourself deeply, others feel it. Confidence is magnetic. It doesn't demand attention. It attracts it. Stop trying to be what everyone else wants you to be. Start being what you were created to be. Because compliance will get you acceptance, but confidence will get you destiny. You weren't meant to live at the mercy of others' opinions. You were meant to live at the level of your calling. People may misunderstand your confidence as ego. Let them. They'll catch up later. Because confidence doesn't need explanation. It proves itself through consistency, through results, through resilience. The world doesn't respect the one who agrees with everything. It respects the one who stands for something. So stop waiting for approval. Stop hiding your greatness. Walk into every room like you belong there. Because you do. The moment you stop complying, you start commanding. And when you carry yourself like a person of value, the world has no choice but to treat you like one. There comes a moment in life when you have to stop blaming the world and start taking ownership. No more if onlys, no more someday. Because every time you say, if only, you hand your power to the problem instead of stepping into the solution. Every time you say someday, you delay your destiny. You are not waiting for the right time. You're wasting the time you already have. You see, life doesn't reward excuses, it rewards execution. You can have a dream, but if you don't move, it dies. You can have talent, but if you don't develop it, it fades. You can have opportunity, but if you don't act, it passes. The truth is, nobody's coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to make it easy. You are the one who has to pick yourself up, look at the mess, the pain, the setbacks, and say, I own this. I may not have caused it all, but it's my responsibility to change it. Responsibility is not punishment, it's power. It's the moment you realize that as long as you're blaming, you're blind to your options. But the moment you take responsibility, your mind opens up. You start thinking, what can I do differently? How can I grow from this? What's the lesson here? You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming a student of life. Taking ownership is not about guilt, it's about growth. It's not about saying, it's all my fault. It's about saying, it's in my hands now. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can always control how you respond. That's your superpower. That's what separates those who rise from those who stay stuck. So stop making excuses for why you're not where you want to be. Stop saying you're tired, that life's unfair, that nobody helps you. Those things might be true, but complaining doesn't change them. The moment you say, this is my life, and I'm going to take charge of it, you flip the switch. You move from powerless to powerful. Think about it. The same wind blows on us all, the wind of failure, disappointment, heartbreak, rejection. But it's not the wind that determines your direction. It's the set of your sail. You can let life push you wherever it wants, or you can grab that sail, shift it, and steer yourself toward purpose. There's a part of you that knows you're capable of more. You've felt it. You've dreamed about it. But dreams don't become reality through excuses. They become real through ownership, through discipline, through the courage to say, I'm done blaming. I'm done waiting. I'm done hiding behind reasons. You either make progress or make excuses, but you can't do both. Own your life, own your story. Because the world doesn't change when you talk about what's wrong. It changes when you decide to make it right. You're stronger than your excuses. You're bigger than your past. You're built for responsibility. You just have to take it. Comfort zones. They're the invisible prisons that kill more dreams than failure ever could. They feel safe, but they're silent assassins of potential. You tell yourself you're fine, that you're okay where you are, but deep down, you know you're settling. And settling is just another word for slowly dying. The comfort zone is seductive because it gives you the illusion of security. It tells you, you won't get hurt here. You won't fail here. But what it doesn't tell you is, you won't grow here either. Every great thing that's ever happened in your life came from a moment of discomfort. A moment when you were scared, unsure, but you stepped anyway. Growth doesn't live in the familiar, it lives in the stretch. It lives in that shaky voice when you speak up for yourself. It lives in the trembling hands when you take the leap. It lives in the restless nights when you're chasing something bigger than you've ever dared before. Growth demands that you trade comfort for courage. You see, when you stay in your comfort zone, you're not avoiding pain. You're avoiding potential. You're not protecting yourself, you're paralyzing yourself. The comfort zone promises you peace, but it delivers stagnation. You can't evolve if you're not willing to be uncomfortable. You can't reach new heights if you're not willing to climb. Some people say, I'm just waiting until I feel ready. But let me tell you something, you will never feel ready. Readiness doesn't come before the leap, it comes after. You grow into readiness by acting before you feel qualified. You build confidence by showing up scared. Every level of your life will require a new version of you, one that can only emerge through discomfort. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your invitation. It's life saying, come higher. It's the universe saying, you're capable of more. It's the signal that you're on the edge of transformation. Don't run from it, embrace it. Because what feels uncomfortable today will feel natural tomorrow. When you break through your comfort zone, you realize that fear was never the problem, inaction was. You realize that every limitation was just a story you were telling yourself. You realize that courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. It means you move despite the fear. The comfort zone gives you safety. Discomfort gives you strength. Safety is temporary. Strength lasts forever. So, if you want to grow, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to do what scares you. You've got to take that risk, make that call, start that project, end that toxic relationship, speak that truth. Because on the other side of your fear lies your freedom. And here's the truth. Your destiny is not waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to move. Because the day you choose discomfort over comfort, courage over compliance, purpose over excuses, that's the day your life begins to change forever. You can't grow if you keep surrounding yourself with people who keep you small. Let me say that again. You can't grow if you keep hanging around those who make you comfortable with being average. The truth is, some of you are not lazy. You're just surrounded by the wrong energy. You're connected to people who don't challenge you, who don't stretch you, who don't remind you of the greatness inside you. You've gotten used to being the smartest person in the room, and that's exactly why you're not growing. You've got to understand something. Environment shapes energy. If you're in a room full of doubters, dream killers, and excuse makers, their mindset will rub off on you. You'll start thinking small, talking small, and living small, not because you want to, but because you've absorbed their limitations. People's attitudes are contagious. So ask yourself, what are you catching daily? If you want to fly, you can't keep walking with chickens. You can't soar when your circle is full of complainers, gossipers, and quitters. You've got to surround yourself with eagles, people who make you uncomfortable in a good way. People who make you look at yourself and say, I can do better. I can be better. If your circle doesn't inspire you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. Now listen, I'm not saying cut everybody off. I'm saying elevate your associations. Spend less time with people who drain you and more time with people who challenge you. You don't have to announce it, just shift it. Because when you hang around people with vision, hunger, and drive, something happens inside of you. Their energy pulls something out of you. It stirs that dormant potential and says, wake up, it's time to rise. Stop letting people who've given up on their dreams talk you out of yours. Stop letting people who settle convince you to do the same. You are not here to fit in. You're here to break through. You're not here to stay comfortable. You're here to grow. And sometimes that means walking alone for a season until you attract the right tribe. Be around people who speak your future, not your fears. Be around those who see your potential even when you're doubting yourself. The right people won't let you quit. They'll remind you of your why. When your how gets hard, they'll hold you accountable. They'll say, I love you, but you're playing small. That's the kind of energy you need if you're going to rise. So check your circle. Who's cheering you on? Who's challenging you? Who's clapping when you win? If you want to change your life, sometimes you've got to change your company. Because the truth is, you become what you're around. And if you keep yourself in an environment of mediocrity, you'll never experience the magic of mastery. Choose people who remind you where you're going, not where you've been. Because the company you keep will either fuel your fire or smother your flame. And I don't know about you, but I refuse to let my fire die surrounded by people who have no desire to burn bright. You've got to stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop saying, when the time is right, I'll start. The time will never be right. Life will never give you a smooth path. The stars will never perfectly align. And guess what? You don't need perfect conditions. You just need courage. Perfection is the greatest enemy of progress. So many people never start because they want everything to be just right. The perfect plan, the perfect resources, the perfect moment. But let me tell you something. You will never have all the answers before you start. You learn as you go. You grow as you move. You don't wait for clarity. You create it through action. It's easy to dream about success when you're sitting still, but it takes boldness to take that first messy, uncertain step. The people who win in life aren't the ones who had everything figured out. They're the ones who said, I'll start where I am with what I have and do what I can. That's how dreams are built. That's how legacies are born. You don't need more time. You need more commitment. You don't need more motivation. You need more movement. Because the truth is, you can't steer a parked car. As long as you're standing still, nothing happens. The magic is in the motion. When you move, even with fear in your heart and doubt in your mind, you activate momentum. And momentum creates miracles. Every success story you admire started in uncertainty. Every visionary began with shaky hands and a trembling voice. They weren't ready. They just refused to let that stop them. You've got to be willing to look foolish before you look fearless. You've got to be willing to take small, imperfect steps before you can take great leaps. There will always be excuses. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough support. But hear me, excuses will always be there. Opportunity won't. So while others are waiting, you work. While others are planning, you build. While others are hesitating, you execute. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. And yes, it will be messy. You'll fail. You'll fall. You'll doubt yourself. But that's part of the process. Every failure teaches you something success never could. Every setback strengthens the muscle of perseverance. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to figure it out on the way. So stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. The right moment is now. The perfect time is today. The opportunity you've been praying for is already in front of you. It's just disguised as hard work. Don't let hesitation steal what could have been the best season of your life. Step out, even if you're scared. Move forward, even if you stumble. Start now, because you're not promised later. You don't need perfect, you just need possible. And as long as you're still breathing, everything is still possible. Ladies and gentlemen, life isn't waiting on you. It's moving with or without you. Every day that passes, every excuse you entertain, every moment you hesitate, you're either stepping into your potential or slipping further away from it. You've got greatness in you, but greatness doesn't manifest in comfort zones. It reveals itself when you decide to stop playing small, stop being the people pleaser, stop making excuses, and start showing up for your own life. You've spent too long dimming your light just so others can shine comfortably. Too long letting fear, laziness, and distraction rob you of what's already yours. But hear me, you are not average. You are not ordinary. You are not meant to simply exist. You are meant to become. You've been created for more, and deep down you know it. You feel it in those quiet moments when no one's watching. That voice that says, I'm made for something greater. That's not fantasy. That's your calling trying to wake you up. Stop negotiating your dreams. Stop living on the sidelines of your own destiny. The world doesn't need another excuse. It needs your example. It needs your light, your story, your strength. Don't keep waiting for the right people, the right moment, the right circumstances. You are the right person. This is the right moment. Now is the right time. Life will test you. People will doubt you. You will fail, stumble, and question everything. But if you refuse to quit, if you dare to stand tall after every fall, the same people who ignored you will one day applaud you. The same doors that were closed will open, not because you got lucky, but because you refuse to stop knocking. Don't live your life apologizing for your power. Don't silence your voice just to fit in. Don't let fear convince you to live a life beneath your potential. You don't owe anyone your weakness. You owe yourself your greatness. So from this moment on, rise up. Step into your strength. Take responsibility for your time. Your choices, your destiny. Let the world see what happens when someone decides to live full and die empty. Because the truth is, your dreams are waiting for you to finally show up. And when you do, when you stop being the nice guy, when you start setting standards, when you stop waiting and start moving, you'll realize something powerful. You were never too late. You were just too hesitant. The moment you chose to show up, the universe moved with you. So show up boldly, fiercely, unapologetically, and let the world feel the weight of your greatness. Because your potential has been begging for you to wake up, and it's time to answer the call.